he tried to fly over the canyon. Now, David Hemmings, you've got a few details about this.
Actually, and it's powered by steam, and it's electric jump something that can went up to 4,881 yard jump, incredible jump.
Traffic, an awful lot of people still trying to get into the stadium, and in actual fact to the stadium. We will be starting on time, as near to time as possible, but be patient with us. I hope you will. We'll continue playing a couple of records until everybody can possibly get into the stadium who has paid to get here, who wants to come and see Evel Knievel. So just a couple of minutes, no longer, I promise you. Thank you all. Bye. Family, you'll be seeing them later on, 10 of the Traver family. There they are in their green. Let's hear your applause for everybody as they come near you. Come on, let's feel good. It's a lovely sunny afternoon. There we are.
Frank Gifford in this famed old stadium has seen many a happening over the course of his history. This is not a World Cup match today. It's not a ruggers match, but it is some of the highlight of the circus acts that you see throughout the world. And just like all Europeans, the people here in London love their circus acts. And today they're going to see some incredible daredevil stunts. So let's pick up the action.
going onto the ramp now to talk to Frank Gifford of ABC Television at the bottom of the exit ramp.
2 times as many people in this stadium as you have in your entire hometown of Butte, Montana.
Well, it's a wonderful feeling. I think maybe I'd rather be home.
You know, Evel, one has to wonder, after the Snake River, you never said you would retire. You never said that was it or anything else, but one has to wonder why you continue.
Well, I sometimes think that maybe I should quit, but you always want to keep going, and I'm kind of proud of that red, white, and blue number 1 I wear on my shoulder, and I want to keep it on there. I'm glad you're here today. You know, I've never had an accident when you're around, and
you won't have one today.
You came to London, I'll tell you that.
One other thing, the layoff, though, you haven't jumped in over a year.
Yeah, well, I may not be as good as I always was, but you're going to find out today I'm as good once as I always was.
This is long and high.
I'll make it.
Good luck.
Thank you, Frank.
There's John Hood, who is Evel Knievel's chief mechanic. Evel's going to come up to the top of the exit ramp now, take the microphone, say a few words, and let's have a tremendous hand for him as he reaches the top of the ramp. We'll be landing on that. How's the sound?
Thank you all very much. Thank you, David. I would like to take this opportunity, if I may, to thank the Hemdale group that brought me here to England. I can honestly say that coming from the United States and never being abroad, I wondered what the people of this country would be like. But everyone that I have met here has been most friendly and sincere and has made this trip, I hope for me, what you English people make it for every visitor that comes to this country. It's been wonderful being here, believe me. I wondered about coming here because this country is where history started. This country has seen everything. Auto daredevils, motorcycle daredevils, all of the wire acts, all of the trapeze people. And I asked the Hemdale people if I could not, when I came to Wembley in London, perform with the finest performers that the United Kingdom and Europe had to offer. How about one more time, a great round of applause for the people that put a show on here for you today. You know, I am not, never have been, nor never will be a politician. However, I want to tell all of you that the United States of America has always been proud of having the support of the United Kingdom, and I could not help but see the signs on some of your automobiles here and in your store windows that say, "Keep Britain in Europe." And believe me, we need your great nation in Europe, because the free world will stop being free when Europe is not free. I came here today to make this jump. Before I do, I would like to ask a favor of you. You would give the same courtesy to a race car driver or to a man who wanted to run a horse. I would like to get warmed up a little bit before I make the jump, and to get warmed up, I like to ride my motorcycle on the rear wheel. Would you like to see some wheelies? I'd like to do some wheelies for you. Okay.
Plywood track around the outside here is what Evel will be doing the wheelies on. He's got, he can do these wheelies incidentally, and I've seen him do it at 100 miles an hour for almost a mile. We haven't quite got that length here, but I'll give you a fair crack at them, I know. up short at the end there for the length of the ramp across the front of the buses. And we'll now go back up the other side and Evel Knievel. I know that Evel would like to say hello to some of the guests that we have with us here today in the Royal Box, some of the finest personalities in the sport and in show business. And as he comes up to collect the microphone from the top of the ramp, I'd like to introduce them to you. We have, for example, here, today we have Graham Hill in the Royal Box. I'd like to stand up, big hand for Graham Hill. There he is. And I know that Evel would just like to pay a special tribute to him.
Graham, I'd like to thank you for coming today and let you know, and all of the people in the United Kingdom know, that even in the United States, we consider you the greatest living race car driver that ever lived. You're a credit to your country. He even won our Indianapolis. He even won our Indianapolis.
We also have with us today John Surtees, who is on there. I hear a big hand for John Surtees.
John Surtees. 7 times world champion, motorcycle raider. And also world automobile driving champion. John, thank you for coming. It's a pleasure to have you here.
And someone I know you'll be pleased to see, sitting right up there in the center of the bottom there, Henry Cooper. Henry.
Henry, thank you for coming. I kind of have a feeling that you were the last of the great white hopes. Thank you so much for coming.
We also have a great supporter of the motor racing industry, Lord Hesketh, up there in the royal box.
Lord Hesketh. Thank you for coming, Lord Hesketh. Here's a gentleman who is putting the flag of Britain back on race cars and doing one of the best jobs that's ever been done in the history of racing. Not only for himself, but for his drivers and for your country. And believe me, I've seen him in action. He's a man you can be very proud of.
Big thank you to Keith Moon of The Who. Who's up there? Hello! There you go, Keith. Emerson, Lake and Palmer are with us too, I think. And Bern Mears of Chelsea, who's up there. Tony Blackburn is with us. Many thanks to all of you for coming with us this afternoon. Back to you, Evel.
Thank you, David. Thank you, fans. Gentlemen, thank you for coming. There have been a lot of questions asked of me about the canyon jump I brought on the boat across the Atlantic from the state of Idaho in the United States of America, the actual sky cycle that I used to jump that canyon with. And I would like to say a few words to you about it. I waited for 6 years to jump that canyon. It was a disappointment to me that I had to go down in defeat. When they put me in it, I thought my chances were 90% that I could make it. If the parachute had not malfunctioned and blew out, I would have made it. I wanted to get across to the other side. I did not want to go in the river. I was tied in. If I hadn't hit on the rocks, I would have drowned. One of your interviewers here in this country asked me if maybe the canyon jump damaged my credibility because I did not make it. I asked that reporter if she wanted to see me die. She said no. I told her that we burnt 3 of our finest astronauts to death on the launch pad at Cape Kennedy, that it did not damage their credibility, that it's not whether you win or lose where I come from, it's how much heart you put into it, and the most important thing, that you keep your word and get in and try. Thank you. One final word before I jump. I was not going to do this, but I see a lot of young boys and girls here today, and a lot of young mothers and fathers my own age, and their mothers and fathers. I have to say something to you that I feel I should, especially in your country, like my country, about narcotics. Narcotics is a thing that has done a good job of trying to destroy our nation. I'm not telling you to take them. I'm not telling you not to take them. But I can give you an example of what will happen to you if you take narcotics. When Graham Hill and John Surtees go to a racetrack to race their machines, they put gasoline in those vehicles, and they race them as they should be ridden. If they put nitro in them, they run for a few laps, and then they blow all to hell. And that's what will happen to you if you use narcotics. You'll run for a few years, and then you too will blow all to hell. So the decision is yours. You make it. I have never jumped 13 buses. I have never jumped this high before in my life, with the exception of the Snake River Canyon. Then I was not on my Harley-Davidson motorcycle. I have many sponsors in the United States, people that I'm proud to be associated with. And Harley-Davidson and the Candy Chuckles that you don't have here are 2 of them that I'm very proud of. You people here today have been a wonderful, wonderful crowd. I'm glad that you all made it. And now I'm going to do my best to make it. Right across these 13 London buses, I'm going to land right on this X. You hang on to your seats, I'll hang on to the handlebars, and we'll get this over with.
Evel will now check the absolute dead central location of the ramp with moving about, and as he likes to check the eye all the way along to make sure that the ramp is lined up exactly dead centrally. And he'll make his way over to the very top of the slide ski jump there, which is right at the very top underneath the roof over on the west end. It's a 380-foot ramp, that, and it's only 4 foot wide. Without saying that every single detail of the engine tubing has to be perfect for a jump like this, and he'll make sure that everything is in tip-top condition before he goes. The last jump was in Toronto in Canada, on the same motorcycle, and that was 104 feet. This is some 36 feet longer, 36 feet longer. Will go on at the moment when Evel is satisfied with the condition of the bicycle, prepare himself to go up to the ramp and jump. It says, "Colour me lucky," incidentally, but there's not much luck about it. It's all skill all the way. Because of the particular difficulties of the stadium, it is a very complicated jump, and it's restricted more than any other jump he's ever performed. Checking the ramp now to make sure again that it's dead central, that the takeoff point is absolutely clear. For obvious reasons, I At this point, we're going to come down from here. Mechanics at the top of the ramp. They'll check everything up in the morning too. Every single detail of the jump on this particularly long and narrow approach ramp has to be checked to the minutest detail. And if he doesn't feel that it's exactly right on any particular occasion, because on this particular ramp, as you will see, there is no possibility. Once committed to the jump, he has no way of coming off the ramp, or there's no escape platform for him to slow down and come off, and he'll be hitting that ramp between 85 and 95 miles an hour and coming down the bottom curve at speeds probably in excess of that. It's John Wood, chief mechanic. There's apparently a problem because he's changed motorcycles, and none of us are quite sure here what's happening at this particular moment in time. Apparently changed the bicycle because he didn't like the gearing on that particular one. As he came down the ramp and tested it, he decided to change it. So he's now happy with the one he's got, so up he goes. motorcycle club up the top there with his mechanics. He will come down the ramp again as soon as he's ready. And we hope he'll go. This is probably the most dangerous jump ever attempted, and if you have any doubts about its danger, I can only promise you to go and stand up at the top of that tower and look down across the full length of this ramp and realize that this is a world record attempt in height ramp, and that every single possibility is being made and every precaution is being taken to make sure that he has the right feeling and the right speed and the right movement. 13 London buses. In the middle of Wembley Stadium, Evel Knievel performing in this country for the very first time, doing his longest and most complicated and most practically difficult jump in his entire life.
Backs off the ramp. If he follows his ordinary pattern, he will go back to the top, and indeed the jump will be coming. Evel Knievel out of Butte, Montana, 37 years old. Practically every bone in his body has been broken at one time or another over the course of his daredevil years. An amazing man. He has taken London quite by storm. I spent a couple of hours with him prior to the jump, and like any other athlete before any other contest, obviously he was nervous. But just before he came out, made his appearance, did his thing, if you will, with the wheelies back and forth, turning on the crowd. He almost dozed off in the booth. He leaned out the window and looked at a crowd of 80,000 people. He said, "What does a man have to do to get this many people together?" And I looked at him and I said, "Evel, you're doing it." He will be going about 90 miles an hour when he leaves the ramp. He estimates he'll cover 140 feet, 10 feet either direction, and it could be all over. Evel Knievel made his first jump when he was 15, countless other jumps after that. In 1966, hurt himself in Indio. 1967, Caesar's Palace, here he goes, and he will go. Hurt. Oh my God.
Nobody please touch his helmet and stand away until his own people can be there.
is hurt. The flag is being removed. I tried to ascertain whether or not he's even conscious. He's hurt. He's hurt bad. Stay away from me, please. Stay away from me. Getting back. Need some air.
Well, the doctor and the crew from the ambulance, which is brought here specifically by Evel Knievel, is attending. Away!
Come on. Back a bit.
And the instructions now are that if he's not too badly hurt, to take him to the London clinic. If he's very badly hurt, to go to the London hospital in Whitechapel. And if it's much worse than that, then to the Northwick Hospital in Harrow. He's unconscious. The doctor and 4 of the private ambulance crew are bringing him onto the stretcher.
Appears to be semi-conscious. His left arm is being held.
He's completely unconscious. No, he's lifted his head. He raised his head. He's come round. He's okay. He's all right. How do you feel, son?
Okay, take it. Okay, let's go to the...
He's given instructions that he wants to go to the ramp. He's all right. He wants to go to the ramp. He wants the spectators to see that Evel Knievel has survived this one. What do you think? What's the condition?
Hello.
Evel says he wants to go to the ramp.
Everybody move away, please.
Please go straight back to the stands, please. Now straight back. He's coming off the... Apparently he's coming off the stretcher and he's coming up the ramp. A great hand from Wembley Stadium, a great hand. Taking the right one now. Ladies and gentlemen of this wonderful country, I've got to tell you that you are the last people
in the world who will ever see me jump, because I will never, ever, ever jump again. I am through.
There must be 70,000 people here today, and if any of you doubted for one single solitary second in your mind that what Evel Knievel does is the most unbelievably daring thing, that must be the living proof of it. He's just said that he's going to walk out of the stadium.
Yeah, but I've got the man out a long way.
Well, we've all shared an incredible experience this afternoon. We've spent a long time with you preparing for this, and I want everybody in this stadium, because we've known the courage of the man in attempting this jump. We've known what he's been through in preparing for it and trying. And I want to hear the whole of this stadium rise and give that man the best that you can all do. Let's hear it all around the stadium for Evel Knievel! For Evel Knievel, hip hip! And hip hip! And again, hip hip!
Look. Come on, let him through.
It's being very right. Get something through. To offer this afternoon, and a couple of great songs on top. Once more, for Evel Knievel, a real rousing cheer from the stadium. Let's hear it for Evel Knievel.
Okay, do you? Did I? Oh, I didn't want to go down. Down, do you?